Welcome to Multifamily Insights. I'm your host, John Casman, and I want to thank you for joining us for another great episode. If you are enjoying this show, do me a favor, leave us that rating and review. I want to hear what you love about the show, but also how we make it work harder for your investing goals. We've got a good one today. We're going to be talking to Rob Chiang. Rob Chiang is the creator of the Passive Wealth Coaching System. Now, he has been managing apartments since the age of 16. Whoa, 16. And he's got 25 years experience with all facets of real estate investing. Now, he has his California's broker license as well as a general contracting license, and he controls $193 million in investment property, as well as owning $10 million worth of real estate. Let's welcome to the show, Rob Chiang.
Thank you, John. Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate the opportunity to give some value to your audience and definitely, hopefully, increase their wealth over time.
Absolutely. Hey, Rob, I went over your bio at a very, very high level. Why don't you take a minute or two and fill in some of those gaps?
Sure. So I grew up in a family that was investors in the apartment space. I started, when I was a naughty little boy. I didn't get sent to my room. I got sent to the complex to go pick up the cigarette butts in the gutter with my bare hands and just learn the trade. And from there, I was always interested. I mean, it didn't make me mad or anything. I thought it was pretty cool to have buildings. I didn't really know what that meant until much, much later, right? Um, I was 16 years old doing the books, doing the accounting on these big paper ledgers, the green and white ledgers with a pencil, because I was always getting the numbers wrong in an eraser, just doing the books, learning how to do debits and credits. Eventually that changed into following my uncle around, learning how to be a handyman and crawling in the attics and crawl spaces and just learning how to be a little gopher and find the leaks and clean up the rats' nests and stuff like that. Um, Learning the business brick by brick. And then eventually went to college, came back, got a job being a broker associate at Marcus and Millichap for about 4 years. I brokered retail property. I got out of the multifamily space and they put me in the retail property space. I learned a lot about commercial deals and office space and fast food restaurants and gas stations. I learned about all those different kind of assets. And honestly, it all comes back to multifamily is better. uh, but anyways, when the market soured in 2007, I didn't make a single paycheck. I was full commission. So I didn't make a single paycheck for a year. And I pulled my wife aside and I said, hey, look, I'm doing 700 cold calls a week. I'm spending money on marketing and I'm not sure what to do. So she said, well, do whatever you want. It makes you happy. And so I said, well, I want to start flipping houses. So we started flipping foreclosures in the hood. I quit my job as a broker. We started flipping foreclosures and that went pretty well. And the path that I was on, I basically quit being a broker, quit being a realtor. And I was just focusing on being a flipper. And the people that were coming to see the house, they would say, oh, the job is so nice. Will you remodel my house? And I would just say, no, I'm not interested in remodeling your house. But so many people kept asking me the same question. I was like, is this my destiny? I might as well just say yes. So I said yes. In California, it's a 4-year apprenticeship to get your contractor's license. So I did all that and I started doing construction full time. I drove a work truck, big old ladder rack, carrying the sheetrock and plywood. And oh man, my car was full of tools and junk, and I was covered in dust every day, on the roof, working hard with my tool belt on. I did that for 8 years. And the crew got to up to 13 people at one point. And so I had to just turn into like a construction manager. And I didn't know at the time, when I was being a broker, I didn't know that all my skills were going to be well-rounded later in life. I just thought, okay, I suck at being a realtor. Let me quit that. And I was like, all right, I'm burnt out being a contractor. Let me quit that. And I said, all right, I just want to be an investor, like a long-term investor, not a flipper. So we bought a house, a dumpy little house in the back of an expressway. I mean, this was like, the cars zoom, 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 zoom. They zoom on by. It's so uncomfortable when you're in the backyard. and it had this little peanut shaped little. It was literally shaped like a peanut, little peanut shaped pool. It was like 3 feet tall, but you know what? That was the start of it all, John. We um we refied out the house that we lived in, and was able to buy that first dumpy little rental house. And from there, a year later, we refinanced that and bought a second rental house. And then from the first rental house, 2 years later, we sold that and bought two more rental houses. And I said, you know what? This is making more money than any other business we ever had. I think this is our destiny. And we started focusing in on the investing. And in the meantime, I hadn't totally quit construction yet. I was scaling down, and this family asked me to be their maintenance manager. I still manage those properties to this day, but they asked me to be their maintenance manager, and I'm like, what the hell is a maintenance manager? You know, what is that? You want me to live in the apartment and like, fix the toilets or something? They said, no, 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 no. You just be the offsite coordinator. You can do the repairs yourself, or you can coordinate it. When tenants have work orders, you just take care of it for us. I said, all right, I'll give it a shot. I give it a shot. So we did it with one building, and then one building became three under management. And then the neighbors needed help. And they actually loved the fact that I never gave up my broker's license. So I always kept it active. They love the fact that we have experience on both sides of the coin and that we also own property. So now all the tools that were randomly getting built, they're all coming together with synergy. So that's kind of the path that we took. And now the management business has grown. The management business has taken over. It's scaled to a point where now we want to just give back and show people that um, it's a very predictable income in the real estate space. It's very scalable, and it's often overlooked. It's looked down upon, honestly. It's not flashy like the brokerage businesses, big checks, but that's feast or famine. That's feast or famine. There's a lot of broke realtors out there. You got a license, but that's about it. Like, when's the last time you sold a home, bro? A year ago? Yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah.
But that's the background. That's the granular background. That's the long story.
Hey man, listen, I love the context though, because you have a really unique drive and background that kind of put you in a position you're in today. And I love the point you made that a lot of these endeavors seemed almost disconnected from each other. And it's always amazing how these different things and the different experiences come together to help you succeed at something where you wouldn't imagine it did. Really going back to your childhood, you're talking about picking up cigarette butts on properties and getting pushed into the attic crawl spaces and all these other places to figure out what's going on, and picking up nasty rat droppings and all sorts of other things, right? To becoming a broker and doing kind of the sexy part of it, and realizing, what, we didn't sell anything this year, didn't make any money. Let me actually get into the flipping side, more the management, the maintenance side of things, and then scaling that out as kind of your own portfolio as well as your own business. So I just love the way it all kind of came together for you. Just to level set, where are you at today with your businesses? I heard you talk about kind of being the maintenance manager. So I know there's a construction or a maintenance business there, but maybe you could walk us through kind of what you actually do today.
So right now we're a full service property management company for multifamily assets. I mean, we take care of one commercial building just as a favor, but our focus is strictly on multifamily garden style apartments. That's usually like 100 units and below. We don't have any of they're all scattered basically. We have like 40 different locations from Santa Cruz. Well, if you know the Bay Area, just say from an hour's drive north and south. Okay. And we have a team of 5 people, and these are um, the core team. And then we have all our vendors that we've been using for 20 years. Those are the third party team. And man, we have our software, we have the accountant, we have our lawyer, they're not in-house. Accountant is not in-house either. But we are currently in the process of scaling our management business as well. We're going to double our management business within 6 months. So we're in the process of adding team members, as well as we just brought on a business development consultant. So it's we're never going to stop growing because progress equals happiness and growth equals pain, but that's part of the process, just like lifting weights.
There you go, man. And I know for you, like part of this is also sharing and giving back to other people, right? So you launched the passive wealth coaching system. Explain exactly what that is and who is that ideal for?
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, just to give a little background, I was a really selfish person about 9 months ago. Selfish mentality, like, hey, look at my properties, look at my exotic cars, like, man, I'm rich. I was like, okay, that's enough for people to be
You already got
inspired.
into YouTube videos in front of your Lambo,
No, Ferraris and Porsches, but
huh?
I was like, um, that's gonna be enough for people to be inspired. I was like so naive, right? And I shifted with the help of getting a coach from Tony Robbins and going to a couple events. And now I have six coaches, but long story short is now I live a life of service and everyone wants to know what's the purpose of life. Well, the purpose of life is really to share your gift. Everyone has their own unique gift. We happen to figure out what mine is, and that's teaching financial freedom. Because people hate to talk about it. It's like you don't want to sit at the dinner table and say what your salary is and what your pain points are. But if you're always thinking about it, that's a problem, you know? It causes stress in your marriage. It worries, it makes you worry about you're going to provide for your children. So if I can give that gift to, families across the nation, anybody that speaks English, instead of just the people I'm here day to day with face to face, my normal clients, if I can do it on in the online space, it can help so many more families get to financial freedom because it's not going to be through crypto. It's not going to be through day trading. It's not going to be through owning a food truck. It's going to be through real estate, just like 90% of the other millionaires in the States. And so that's how we created the seven-step blueprint to passive wealth. It's it's um it's a really basic blueprint. The first book, this is the first book we put out, is focused on property management, 80%, and then in focus on investment, 20%. The second book we're putting out January 1st is the other way. It's 80% on investing, 20% on managing. So who's going to benefit from reading this book? Anybody who's an investor in real estate that wants to scale their business, they want more free time, and anybody who's in real estate as a professional who wants to add management as a division of their business. And
talk
they can find out. Yeah.
talk to me a little bit more about the management, right? Because you mentioned like it is something that people overlook very often. And when we talk about how to be a successful investor, the management of these assets does play a major role in it. So talk to us about how important management is for you and what helps you stand out. Like what are you doing that you feel other management companies are not doing to make sure you're successful?
Okay. So first question, at a high level, the management and construction is literally what lets investors have forced appreciation. Okay, it's like each property, each complex is a business. It is a business. It is an asset, and the business is the business of landlord tenancy. So if that's not being operated well, that's where a more skilled investor will come in and smooth out the operations. They'll get the income up, they'll get the expenses down on a very basic level. And they'll do that by, oh, look, they weren't collecting for utilities. Or, oh my gosh, they were watering the lawn 50 minutes a week, like spending thousands of dollars on water. Or, you know what? They could have got a solar panel system, like little things that will boost the net operating income. They're all related to management. Okay. And then experience with construction lets you know that, okay, I can spend $10,000 on a unit and get, boom, $500 more in rent a month. Well, I just got my return on a cash flow basis and on my exit price. So to have those skills in the toolbox is priceless. And I'm so glad that I learned them over the years. And that's the importance from a big macro level. That's the importance of knowing how to manage and how to maintain and remodel a property, right? But if you're looking at it as a business perspective, like, should I get into the property management business? Is it for you? If you're a contractor, you can get into the property management business. You just need a realtor partner. You don't have to go out and get a license yourself. You can just partner up. If you're a realtor, it's opposite. You just need a contractor partner. Hello, light bulb should be going off now. It's not that complicated. Like, so many for years, I've been saying no to management. So many apartment owners, I sell their building. Oh, will you manage it for me? No. Yuck, management. Ugh, gross. Who wants to do that? I just want to wear my fancy suit and sell property, you know? But when the checks weren't coming, boy, I really should have taken on that management because it would be so dependable on income. And what was the second question, John?
What makes you stand out? It's like, so with that noted, we talked about the importance of management, the importance of maintenance, and being able to identify how to operate the property more effectively. When you look at what you do compared to, say, other property management companies, where do you shine? Where do you stand out?
I think it's the ability to hark back on the diverse experience that we have in the industry and put ourselves in the owner's shoes because we are owners. We're not just service personnel who are going there just to get the job, to get the fees. We look at each property as if we own it, as if they're family. And so we want to have them have any exit strategy they want, whether it's to hold forever or whether it's to boost and refire, whether it's to exit and grow unit counts. We operate as if, we're in their shoes, and that's the secret sauce. That's why our clients refer us out organically. We don't really advertise at all, and I mean that's basically it.
No, thank you for sharing that. And I think it's really important to understand, like, how we perform and how we show up, and that's what people are going to remember. So make sure you execute on the things that you can control, and then how to get better, and just learning from those experiences is so key. You mentioned your book, one, 7 step blueprint to passive wealth, and I know that it just hit the bestseller list on Amazon. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
For listeners who want to check out that book, what are some of the tips they're going to get when they do?
They're going to get tips on how to make their business run smoother. Um, I have to warn you though, it's going to involve giving up some control. So I used to be a perfectionist. I used to be the one with the paintbrush in his hand in the house, painting until 10 o'clock at night to make sure there was no dimples in the texture. That was me. Okay, that was me because I didn't think anybody could do a better job than me. It sounds crazy, right? But people think that way. Like, oh, this apartment building is not going to run any better than I am running it right now. Okay, well, who was running it before you, and who's going to run it after you sell it? Like, give it up, man. You want to scale? You got to give up control. You have to give up control. When I gave up control, I was a one-man band, managing 168 doors. I'm talking about myself in my truck, collecting the rent, still collecting it by paper check at that time, collecting the rent, doing the maintenance, all the phone calls, all the showings for the vacancies, all the monthly reports on QuickBooks. This is all manual stuff, PDFing all the docs, compressing them together. I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was like 12 hours a day. And I was close to burnout, had a baby on the way. And this is that moment was a tipping point. It forced me to give up control. I was like, all right, yeah, my baby's more important. Let me just pump the brakes on my business. Either we're going to shut it down or I'm going to give up control. So I gave up control. I hired I hired one person to come help me. It was amazing. It was amazing the burden that lifted, and I could step back. I can go, I'm not going to be in the business anymore. I'm going to be on the business. I'm going to be that helicopter view, helping the business, improving the business. So everyone that's like working with their hands and their feet, like being a realtor, driving around clients, driving around buyers, not getting paid, and wondering like, oh, how can I use my skills? How can I use my skills and get paid? Maybe you should be a leasing agent. Maybe just like realtor adjacent, just be a leasing agent. I mean, I found out there's traveling leasing agent teams that travel from city to city, leasing out like new apartment complexes. They do their contract in a month, they get a humongous check and they move on to the next one. There's so many different avenues to scale your time and to get more freedom. Like I went from doing the 160 doors by myself to not having to leave the office, more than like a couple times a month if I have to meet owners or whatever. But the team handles everything. It literally handles everything that's not executive level. So,
Rob, I think just gave some great insights there, and understanding how to work on the business, not just in the business, is a key thing for most entrepreneurs. And you hear it often, but I think the challenge most people have is one, there's the control of the quality, right? Will anyone be able to do it the same way I can do it? But the other thing is also the cost, right? To invest and pay someone else, especially if your business maybe isn't as consistent with the income. You don't want to be in a position where, okay, well, hey, I don't know if I have enough for payroll this month. How do you help people overcome those two obstacles, right? Being able to let go of control, but then also recognizing the investment and the cost that it's going to take.
oh, absolutely. You need to put up capital. That's just the honest truth. You need to have some capital, either a loan, SBA loan, or have some savings that you can dip into, have an existing business. Usually you are making some money in real estate or construction. Let's say, for example, you're in construction, you want to bring on a real estate partner. Well, bring them on as full commission. Bring them on as full commission for leasing fees, and then they can take a cut of the management fee. There's ways to start in the beginning where you can have a meeting of the minds and know that you're going to grow together, right? Just think about, who are you going to attract? As a small company, are you going to attract the best talent? Of course not. You're not a Google, right? Everyone wants to work for Google or Facebook where I'm at. But if you're small, you're going to attract somebody that, is willing to do multiple roles, is willing to grind it out. But they need to be paid either today or in the future. So it's not like you just give up everything, right? If you have a W-2 job and you want to start a business, it's a transition. It's just not like you just cut the string and jump. There needs to be a transition. The best way to do that is with coaches and mentors who have done it before. I didn't have one. I was like trial and error guy. That's why it took me so damn long to get here. I mean, now that I have a whole coaching team behind me, I'm just doing things I never imagined I'd be doing. Honestly, it's just crazy.
But
Is
Rob,
that
I
your
think that
question?
point is, I think that point is spot on, right? You have to invest in it. It's going to cost money, but it's a business, right? Every business has to have an investment in it in order to produce results. And I think that's the biggest takeaway is this a job? Is this a hobby? Is this a project? Or are you trying to grow a business? And if you're looking to grow a business, you have to put in the team, the system, the processes to actually scale. And that means you kind of playing that CEO role, not just the executor. So, really good insights. If you want to learn more, check out that book, 7-Step Blueprint to Passive Wealth. We'll make sure we put a link to it on our show notes. And then you can also check it out there and some other information on his website, passivewealthcoaching.com. So, Rob, we're going to move on to our round of insights. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Fire away.
Give me a failure or an apparent failure that set you up for later success.
A failure. Yeah, I would have to say the failure was failing as a realtor. Failing as a realtor or giving up. That set me on the path like a hero's arc. I felt really like a failure. I felt like I was depressed, like I couldn't stand the pressure of not earning money, and I felt inferior. I felt like that was my destiny, and I was gonna be a handyman the rest of my life. But in reality, I was gaining skills, and that set me up. Like, one door closed, but another door opened, and I was probably too busy partying at the bars to really see my true outlook. But eventually I came around, you know?
There you go. All right, give me a digital or mobile resource you recommend for your business.
We are on Facebook, Passive Wealth Coaching. We also have a Facebook group that's free, Apartments and Multifamily Housing Group. That's free. So that's a really good resource. People like it.
All right. Give me the book you've recommended or gifted the most in the last year besides your own.
Yeah, I would say Tony Robbins' Unshakable. That's a really short version of like Money Master the Game. It basically tells people, relax, relax. We've been through this before. It's gonna be okay. We're going through a 4-year tumble, a little correction, but it's like a squiggly line. You know, the economy goes squiggly line, but it keeps going up. Ray Dalio explains it really well.
All right, give me a daily habit that helps you stay focused on your goals.
Exercising. That's a non-negotiable. Gotta exercise every day.
Give me your number one insight for investing.
You gotta be in the game to make money. I have so many people giving me advice, they're not even in the game. So just get in the game. Like MBA school teaches you, you make a decision with 60% of the information. You're never gonna have it. By the time you have it all, it's like, when do you have all the stats from a basketball game? When it's over. Come on.
There you go. I love it, man. Good tips there. Let's lighten the mood, man. You are out there in the Bay Area, so lots of great places to eat. Which one is your favorite, man? What's your favorite place to grab a bite to eat?
Oh man, favorite. That's put me on the spot. I can tell you the next place we're going is Benihana because I want to take my daughter there.
Okay. All right. How old's your daughter?
She's gonna be 4.
Oh, she'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's a spectacle, so.
Might catch a shrimp, man.
There, I love it. Well, listen, Rob, you gave us some great insights talking about really your background and getting into real estate from a young age. I'm sure you're thinking of already how to get your daughter into real estate as well. But talking about your background, getting into real estate, going from a broker to being a handyman, being more active, building your own portfolio, and now helping other people through your passive wealth coaching platform. Again, if anybody wants to check that out, go to passivewealthcoaching.com. You can check out his book, The 7-Step Blueprint to Passive Wealth. I want to thank you again, Rob, for coming on the show today. Hope you have a great one.
Thanks, Sean.